Well, welcome to the Jazz Jumpstart Show. I am your host, Jasmine Romaine, and I am jazzed to be here with each and every single one of you on today. My goodness, it's a Mission Moose Monday, and we are springing forward. So, you know what that means? That means we have to have the tools and the strategies to get not only jazzed, but also where we can speak life and speak business and get out there and amplify our voices, which is why I am so excited to share with you some of the amazing strategies, that secret sauce that's going to get your speaking brand even elevated to the most. Come on now. Well, I'm so excited to share with you. So if you have not tuned into the Jazz Jumpstart Show before, I welcome you. Welcome. You must be a world changer, a person who is out there wanting to get their mission moves set, a person who is out there wanting to amplify their mission because they know they have been called for such a time like this, a person who is ready to speak their story and also be a huge light in the world. Well, guess what? You are tuning into the right show because the Jazz Jumpstart Show is where we speak life as well as business. And you know what? Since it's one of those days that we're just going to pop up, we're going to pop up on today, and I'm going to have a talk for you exclusively to help you elevate. Well, hello, I'm Jasmine Romaine, transformation strategist, world changer, and most of all, daughter of the king. But one of the biggest missions that I'm assigned to do is help yes, to amplify your mission where you can get out there and amplify your voice, being the joy, the light, the peace factor that we all need in the world. And what better way to do that than to tell your story? So I'm so excited to share with you a secret sauce that's going to help you even more to elevate your speaker brand so you can be who you're called to be and it can flow so effortlessly. Come on. So I'm so excited to share with you that. And if you have not hit the subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you can stay tuned for even more of the strategies and the amazing episodes that are on this show. So I've shared with you a little bit about the secret sauce. And on this Monday, I'm going to distribute a huge key that's going to help you to take the burden off of you as you are sharing your story to those you are called to serve. And I remember even for myself, one of the biggest things that I dealt with even at a young age was in regards to this one thing. This one thing had me tripping, right? And I don't want you to trip off of it. And I don't want you to get where you are caught up into it, where you cannot even be exactly that speaker that you're called to be. And that secret sauce that it all happens to be, it starts with just being you. Isn't that so simple? Just to be yourself. But sometimes in some moments, it can be very difficult because we see the world doing so many different things, whether they're being successful or they're being a light and they're generating what they're generating, or they have a process that works. But what if, world changer, you had the unique standout factor, and that was just being authentically you? That's your secret sauce. Embracing your authenticity, embracing your story, embracing all that you have to offer, just being you. That is the secret sauce to being the amazing speaker that you are. And I remember that I actually fell into that trap. And I got tripped up with this, right? And I started off working in radio broadcasting. And I had, of course, my role models. It was Wendy Williams and Oprah Winfrey. I like Wendy because she had this vibracious type of spirit that was going, how you doing? And then we had Oprah who just wanted to give, like, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. And I said, oh my goodness, if I could just have all of this where I'm like fun and then I'm a giver, that I can be both of these women at once. Now, all due respect, both of them have their amazing gifts that they have given, whether it's their personality, their style, or their philanthropy, or their caring attitude. And they're very much different, as you can tell. But one of the biggest things was I was looking at being like them till it was hard being like who I was. And it was so easy to get tripped up in trying to be like someone else when the authenticity is in being you. And I realized in that very moment after I realized that it was so hard trying to keep up with being who I thought the world needed to be, that it was just easier being like who I am. So I don't know about you. Maybe you are out here and you're speaking your story and you're telling people who you are. You're building your branding and your messaging. And for some reason, you're feeling like you have to be like someone else. I'm telling you, you don't. I'm telling you to be authentically you and to embrace all of who God has called you to be. Because as you do this, you will set the differentiator factor that will allow you to be able to be different among everyone else. Nobody's looking for carbon copies of other people. They're looking for you. What is it that you have to bring? I think about how God has created each and every single one of us. And every one of us have a fingerprint. No matter where we are in the world, we all have fingerprints. And isn't it so awesome that every single one of those fingerprints are absolutely different? They may be connected to fingers, but guess what? They have a different fingerprint on each person. Nobody's fingerprint is alike. That is why when they're looking for your identification, they say, we have something that's totally different. They found that there is a secret sauce even in every single person because of their fingerprint. But guess what? It is the same thing that goes with the personalities, your stories, the way you do your thing. It is all part of you. It is in your DNA not to be like anyone else. While we can be models of others, it is important that we stay in our zone, creating who we are called to be and speaking from who we are. So I'm not looking for someone to be like another Jasmine Romaine. It is a one Jasmine Romaine, and that's all we need to be, right? And there's only one Oprah Winfrey. There's only one Wendy Williams. There's only one of whomever out there is using their voice and amplifying their story. There is only one of you, right? And as we realize that, we now have this big old factor that will allow us to shine our lights differently. That's what makes us different. So when I even got into the phase of embracing all who I was, I saw that things were shifting for me. And let me tell you what this shift did for me and that it will do for you. Number one, it will allow you to stand out in the marketplace. Because you no longer look like the rest of the individuals, you will stand out in a unique way. And let me tell you what standing out will do for you. It will allow you different opportunities. It will allow you to now have a branding message and a branding message that is totally unique for what that audience is looking for. It allows you to now be that light in the world, right? You stand out because you're different. And so when you embrace all of who you are, not trying to be like someone else, but embracing who you are, that's when things happen. Big things popping, right? And we want the big things to pop because as we are getting out there, being a light in the world, that is truly what makes us a world changer. And we all get caught up. Trust me, it was me too. I was tripping, but we're not tripping no more, right? We're going to embrace our authenticity even as our speaker brand. So that way, as we're speaking, we can be able to share our stories. The next thing that this is going to allow you to be able to do is it's going to allow you to be able to now speak your voice in a unique way on different platforms. So now that you are being your unique self, you're going to now embrace your unique story. One of the biggest things about embracing all of who you are is really embracing the story that you have, whether it is a story of glory or a story that's going to take people to that next level. All of these stories are very, very unique. And so as you're sharing your story, it might be parallel to someone else's, but there's always this twist. And that twist is what people need that's going to help them in whatever factor that they need to elevate into. Hey, we're speaking life around here, right? And so whatever you have, there's a message in your story. Whether you're speaking business, whether you are speaking life, someone can be able to relate, but it deals with being authentically you. You can be placed on platforms that no one else can be placed on just because of your unique story. And that's what your story and authenticity will do for you. The next thing that it will do is allow you to connect more. How can you connect off being like somebody else? You only can connect when you are truly who you are. So you have to be able to be vulnerable with sharing your story, not looking for someone else's story, but sharing from your story as it's your story that's now going to allow you to connect deeper. Every single day, we are telling stories, whether we are telling stories to our friends, whether we are telling stories about the world or our different types of stance on things, we are telling stories, right? So what makes that story very unique is because we are sharing the vulnerability of our opinions and our thoughts. And all of those different things are now allowing us to either connect with people or maybe even like make people where they're saying, maybe I shouldn't connect with them. But they are our stories that make us vulnerable. And sometimes in life, we have to be able to use these stories to be able to connect. They're vulnerability stories that connect on a whole nother level, but it only connects when you are your authentic self. So I don't go around here telling other people's story or finding a story that matches their story. I'm going to connect with my story because it's the story that I have. This is a story that's going to help people. It's the only story that I know. So I know in life we're trying to look at different types of things and model off these things, but your story is enough. Your story has exactly what it needs. Maybe you want to continue to enhance it. Now that's fine. And find even other things that will pull out the greater things in others. But what if you embraced your own story? You know, one of the things that I love to do, world changers, when I'm not empowering and speaking and amplifying my mission and being an advocate for joy, well, that's every day. Okay, I'll be honest. But one of the things that I love to do is cook. Let me tell you, cooking is so therapeutic for me. I love getting in the kitchen. I love jazzing things up in the kitchen, making it my own, playing some New Jack Swing and maybe a little bit of, I don't know, some jazz and Mary J. Blige. Hey, we have fun in the kitchen. Let me tell you, it is a whole experience. So you all stay tuned. It's going to be some amazingness coming really soon about that. But one of the things that I love to do is make these dishes. And as I'm making these unique dishes, I love to have the flow of it. Because even though there are recipes out there that can make the same thing that I can make, nobody can make it like me. I remember when I was a young girl, my mother used to be in the kitchen. And as she was in the kitchen, it would just smell so good. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have something to eat. And one of the things she would say was, baby, I'm cooking this for you. And I said, ooh, for me? She'd make it look like it was just for me, but it was probably for the whole household, but it felt so special that it was for me. And I said, well, what's in it, Mom? And she said, well, baby, I'm cooking it for you, but there's something special in it. I said, what's it? What is it? What is it? She said, it's love. I'm cooking with love. And I said, ooh, that's awesome. You're cooking with love. I need to know that ingredient. But as a child, I didn't know it really wasn't a ingredient. What it was her soul. It was her heart. It was her spirit. It was amazingness that nobody could ever put in it because it came from mama. And I don't know about you, but hey, if you had a mama who cooked with the love, yeah, I had a mama who did it right. Because I know that meal tastes so great. And it's so interesting that even now when I try to probably do some of the things that she did, I can't even do it like her. Because everybody is going to have a cooking style that's absolutely different and absolutely unique. And I love my Southern dishes, especially being a Southern woman, but I still like to have my own twist to it. I love to make it my own. I love to have a different type of flair and a different type of jazz to it. And guess what? It tastes just as amazing as someone else's, right? Because I put my own to it. So guess what that is? It's the authenticity of being who I am, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it is being able to speak the story or being the speaker brand that you are. I know out there for you, world changer, sometimes being like someone else can be like, hey, that is the way to success. But can I share with you that the true way to success is being able to be your authentic self, sharing who you are, being who you're called to be, because nobody can do it like you. And I truly believe that even for such a time like this, your story and your message is needed. Now, if you're like, Jasmine, I'm ready to continue to take my story to that next level, and I know there are ways that I can enhance it, then I'm going to say to you, I'm here to help you to get that story out. And I love helping world changers to pull their story where it's enhanced even more, where it's structured, where you're not confused on how you're sharing it, but where you can have your natural flow and still be able to get your message out, where you're not having to be like anyone else. And I have a process that I love to use. And I wrote this process and I use this process. And one of the biggest things that I love about this process is that it helps you to jazz up your sales. And so this is what it's about when it comes to speaking to profit. Yes, the authenticity is in it, but there is also the logistical place that's in it too, to put your speaking together so that way your story can flow and it can relate to your audience and you can make these world changer moves. So if you're interested and you're like, hey, Jasmine, I'm ready to take my story to the next level, go in the description down below and hit on resources. And those resources will help you even more. And hey, maybe you're looking for a one-on-one to get that VIP experience to get your story out. Then I say to you, go ahead and apply for the VIP session that will allow you to work with me. And you and I will go through that story and pull out what needs to be pulled out so you can stay your authentic self and be all who you are called to be. Because I truly believe your story is meant for stages. Your story is meant to be in corporations, and your story is meant to be shared with the world. That's what makes you a world changer. So get out there and do exactly that. So go in the description, go ahead and apply for a VIP session, and let us talk about how we can get that story out. Because at the end of the day, your story matters, but what matters most is that you embrace all of who you are, being your authentic self, embracing who you are, and being that unique light that is so bright and you can be able to shine for others. I truly believe in you. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, share with a friend, and tell a friend to tell their friend and tell another friend that they need to tune in to the Jazz Jumpstart Show, because this is where I'm dropping gems and the keys that are going to help you to elevate even more. Until next time, I'll talk to you all soon as we continue to rock it out on the Jazz Jumpstart Show. I'll talk to you all soon.